Today we are pulling a toilet in order to install some flooring underneath it. This is a temporary installation. So I'm just going to show you the step-by-step process for how to do that and what to do first. And we will start by just turning off the main water valve coming into the toilet and going ahead and flushing it to release the water that's in the tank through the bowl. We can take this lid off the back here of the tank, and I'll set that off to the side. Now you also may want to consider asking any other residents of the house if they need to use it one more time before you pull it. So I'm just letting a little bit more water out of this. Now what you'll find is that you have water that, this is just kind of iron colored, it's not yellow for any other reason. What you'll find is that the water doesn't fully go away because it'll just sit in that trap there. So what you're going to need is a bucket and a sponge is kind of the best method that I have found. If you don't have that, you can use a little cup and you can scoop it out somewhat. It's still kind of gross, you know. I don't know. If you want to wear gloves for this, you can. I just generally don't. Never have. And then just squeeze the water out like that. My wife just looked around the corner and she's like, got this very shocked expression. Yes, this is how I do all of them, honey. Is it gross to stick your arms down into the trap of the toilet?
Yeah, I was trying to see if it was the tank or the bowl.
Well, it's a little bit of both. Start with the yummy part, which is this part here. So you stick this down in there. Yeah, I guess this is interesting to some people. Okay, so anyway, we got pretty much all the water out of the trap there now. So we'll close that. And then move to the back of the tank here. I'll see if I can get a better view for you. Alright, so you can kind of see in the back here now a little bit better. Now this water is totally clean. I mean, it's not been compromised by what goes into the bowl. So we'll just keep using the sponge in the same way here now until we get all of the water out of the back of the tank. And the reason you do this is that you otherwise when you go to move your stool, you will end up with spilling water all over the floor as it comes out of the trap and out of the toilet. Potentially out of the back of the toilet too. So that's why you soak up all the water. I'll put a link in the description to where you can buy a sponge like that. They're generally just a couple bucks at a home center too if you want. It's a tiling grout, or a grouting sponge is what they call them. And yeah, you can pick them up at home centers all over the place. Okay, so we're going to disconnect the water line here. And most likely we're going to have a little bit of water. I'm just getting this started. Usually these are not too tight unless the person that installing it didn't know what they were doing. Because this is just sealed here with a rubber gasket in here, so it didn't need to be super tight. This is an angle stop or an angle shut off, and there we go. I got it off, and it's just kind of dribbling out here. So I'll let that kind of sit for a minute, give it a little bit of a shake, and then I'm just gonna spin the toilet tube off of here too for now. Don't need it on the toilet because this toilet is not going back in. As you can see, this toilet is in rough condition. It's very old. Alright, so there we got that. Pretty much done dripping. So we'll set that to the side. Alright, next we're going to take these toilet bolts off. Now the toilet bolts themselves stay in place, but the nut off the top will come off. And in case you're wondering, it is a 7/16 inch wrench, typically, for getting on that brass nut. So, a lot of times there'll be a plastic cap over the top of this, and you can use a screwdriver to gently pry that off. It's just kind of snapped over the top of that. This one didn't have it because, again, this is a temporary install of an old junk toilet. So we'll spin that off. And just, I'll mention it now since it seems like the time is right. Whenever you put your toilet back in, don't over tighten these bolts. Just tighten them enough to make the toilet so that it's stable. But if you over tighten those, the toilet will just crack. It's porcelain. It's not that heavy duty, or it doesn't have that much resistance to extreme amounts of force from tightening the toilet bolts. Okay, I'm going to grab the one off the other side. Now you want to have a spot ready with some cardboard where you can set the toilet temporarily, because there's going to be a bunch of wax and nasty stuff on the bottom of it. And I think we're actually going to set it upside down anyway, because depending on where the wax ring, if the wax ring stays on the floor when we pull it, then we probably can set it upright. But if the wax ring stays on the toilet, which we'll find out here in a second, then you might have to set it down upside down. So toilet bolts have been released. The water line is disconnected, and the best place to grab this thing is on either side of the back right here. Hope you can see that okay. And just rock the toilet back and forth until it comes up, which this one came up really easy. And the wax ring stayed on the floor, so we're going to go ahead and just give it like this. Oof. Okay, there it is. Whew. So you can see the wax ring down there. I'll get a close up. So if that wax ring, now the one that was in here was a style that has a horn on it. So like there's a plastic funnel thing that's attached to the wax ring. And if this was stuck on the bottom of the toilet, it would be protruding greatly. So thankfully it stuck to the floor, so we didn't have to worry about that. But that's something to be aware of when you're pulling these things out. So that's pretty much it for pulling a toilet. Obviously, most likely you're going to be reinstalling your toilet, unless you're taking it out for good for some reason. But I'm going to work towards getting a video put together for installing a brand new toilet and all the steps that are involved with that. So I'll link that down in the description once I have that finished. But anyway, that's what you need to do to get your toilet pulled out. I hope this video helped you. If it did, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe down below for more similar videos in the future. And we will talk to you later. Say thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Because, yeah, pretty fun. Pretty exciting. See you later.